Yes. So we are going to take a sensor. So what is the purpose of sensors? So what are the sensors you know? So can you please comment in the comment box? Can you please comment in the comment box? So just please tell me what are the sensors do you know? Yeah, temperature sensors. Great. Hall sensors. Yeah, Hall effect motor sensors. Yes. See, first we should know we are going to implement a motor control applications, right? So in that case, first we should know the voltage sensor and the current sensors and temperature sensors and speed sensor and then torque sensors. And sometime we may require about that vibration sensors also, right? So let us take a motor control application block diagram. See, in this application block diagram, what are the things we may feel how we can understand the motor control is implemented on any system, right? So this motor control is a common for anyone, whatever it is. See, let us take a first one is this is a motor. So this motor can be anything like a DC motor, BLDC motor, or PMSL motor, whatever it may be. Let us take this motor. So for this motor, we need any one microcontroller should control the motor, right? So in that case, either 38-bit, 16-bit, or 32-bit controller we can use it. For by default, some three major peripherals. One is the ADC and PWM and the DAC. That is a DAC. Right, so these are the sensors, these are the additional peripherals which we are going to use in the microcontroller board. And after that, from the microcontroller, then the powertronic circuit is going to apply a controlled power signal, right? So how we can generate a control signal from the microcontroller will generate the control signal. So how the microcontroller will generate the control signal? The motor from the plant. So let us take this is a plant, right? So this is a plant. So this is a plant. So from the plant we will take a we need to sense the basic parameters like a motor speed, load current, and then load voltage. So these are all the basic parameters which we have to keep on maintain the particular level. And after that, so here once if you know the parameters, from the parameter we have to generate a control signal, right? So in that case, the computer in the computer we will develop an application code. So that application code will be downloaded to the microcontroller. So the microcontroller will do the two tasks. One is that it will keep on monitor the plant parameters, and based on the plant parameter it will generate a control signal. So now what are all the sensors for what purpose we are going to use it? So first one is that speed measurement. For the speed measurement, tacho generator, magnetic pickup, optical disc, rotary encoder, Hall effect sensors, these are the type of sensors which we are going to use in the speed sensing applications. Whereas in the current sensors, there are three different methods. One is that shunt current resistance, shunt resistor, and Hall effect based current sensors, and then current transformer. So these are all the methods which we are going to use to measure the current. Similarly for the voltage, again for the AC voltage we will use a potential transformer to monitor to measure the AC voltage. Whereas if it is a DC voltage, then we have to get a separate part. So separate circuit we have to develop it. So here one thing we have to keep in your mind, whatever the sensors from the measured point, like a plant. So from the plant, if you are keeping your sensor, that sensor value anyhow you are going to connect into the microcontroller, right? So in that case, if any fault occurs on the plant, that fault should not carry it to the microcontroller. because microcontroller is the heart of your entire plant. So the microcontroller will act as a heart of the entire plant, because this microcontroller only going to keep on monitor the parameters. At the same time, based on the parameter, the application code which is available on the inside the microcontroller will generate a controlled signals for the power device drive, right? So like that, we have to keep in your mind, always we should provide some isolations, right? Yes. Some of the people are asking, is microcontroller is interesting? Any webinar on embedded system and microcontroller? Yeah, Mr. Aditya, we are going to start a 30 days IoT masterclass series from Monday onwards. We can join there. So here these are all some essential sensors for the electrical applications: voltage, current, vibration, torque, and then temperature, and then speed. So these 6 parameters we have to use in the electric vehicle applications, right? So let us take a generalized measurement system. Whatever the sensors, so what is the basic block diagram for the measurement systems? So this is the sensor input and the primary sensing element and signal conditioning circuit and signal scaling circuit. Either you can upscale or downscaling the parameter, and finally we have to add the protection circuit, and you can connect to the microcontroller. See here in this block diagram, so this is our heart of the plant. Okay, so here these two parts. So this is the this is the plant area which we are going to sense the actual parameter. So after keeping the proper element to sense the actual plant parameter, so from this we have to convert, we have to fed the value to the signal condition circuit. See, for example, sensor, I said different type of sensors are there. Suppose if you are going to measure the speed, so in that case the speed is nothing but from the motor shaft. So this kind of voltage we may get it. So this is called a frequency, right? So let us call it as a pulses. So this pulse we are going to convert to the voltage, or else if you are going to use the timing signals and all, so in that case there will be a noises, and then there will be a voltage peak overshoots, so everything will be there. So this signal condition circuit will, first of all, it will monitor, and then it will clip the basic unwanted signals, and the signal scaling, and then signal scaling circuit nothing but, so the same signal which we are going to connect to the microcontroller, the same signal should be less than the operating voltage. At the same time, it should be equivalent to the operating voltage of the microcontroller. See, actually microcontroller operating voltage varies, depends, like for 8051 it will work under the 5 voltage, whereas if you take a FPGA processors, then it will work under the 1.2 voltage, sometimes under 1.8 voltage. Similarly for the DSPs, then 3.3 voltage. So like that you have to generate whatever may be the input voltage for this board, input voltage. Let us take a 5 voltage. If you are going to use the DSP board, right? So the DSP board will work under the 3.3 voltage. So now we have to clip the voltage within this model, and after that, if any faults occurs in the element, so in that case we should apply a protection circuit. Simply here we can use a protection circuit as a Zener diode. So here this Zener diode will help you to clip the voltage, right? So this kind of this is the generalized measurement system. So now we can apply the particular element, particular parameter to the same block, and then we can derive the circuits. So how we can derive the circuits, right? So now whatever the sensors, so in the signal conditioning circuit we are going to use the operational amplifier, right? Operational amplifier, something. Solar power system is also interesting topic in any webinar on this. Yeah, your point has been noted. Let me try to add that one. Yes, we have to give a separate power supply for the microcontrollers. So in the operational in the signal conditioning circuit, the main component is that operational amplifier, right? So this operational amplifier is going to play a vital role in this signal conditioning circuit. I mean in the sensor circuit design. So to understand the op amp, you should know some basic concepts of the operational amplifier. I mean op amp, right? So the first one is the voltage follower, and inverting op amp, a non-inverting op amp, and then a non-inverting summing amplifier, differential amplifier, inverting summing amplifier, integrator, and op amp differentiators, and then current to voltage converters, negative resistance converter, and then peak detector. So these are all some notable features with the op amp, right? So can you tell me the IC name for any one of the op amp? Can you tell me the IC name of any one of the op amp? Yes, proximity. Yeah, so IC 741 is the best example of op amp. Any other? Any other? Yeah, IC 741 series. Any other series? Okay, thank you for your comment. So now let us understand the IC 555 timer is not a op amp. Yes. See here the voltage follower. See, this voltage follower is going to give you the this voltage follower is going to give you whatever you are going to apply the input voltage, the same voltage only we are going to get it. Suppose if you are going to use the voltage divider method to measure the value, right? So in that case, the same voltage whatever you will apply, the whatever you want, see, instead of measuring this voltage, so you are going to measure this voltage alone, this two voltage between across this R2. So this voltage you have to measure with the help of voltage follower. So whatever you are feeding the voltage to this op amp, the same voltage you may get it. So the advantage is the gain will be infinity gain. So in that case there will not be any oscillating voltages. So suppose if you take this voltage, like if you are taking this voltage just like this. So in that case, after the voltage follower, the voltage circuit will not generate any disturbances. So here we can clip this voltage. That is the biggest advantages in the voltage follower circuit. Similarly, the inverting summing amplifier. So the summing amplifier nothing but whatever you are going to sense the voltage. Suppose if you are going to measure the voltage across the piezoelectric sensors, because the piezoelectric sensors will give you very less value, like in terms of millivoltage, right? Suppose if you want to implement or amplify the same voltage, so connect all the individual piezoelectric sensor voltages and connect to the inverting summing amplifier, then we can get output voltage. So based on the logic level which we are going to develop in the circuit, I will tell you one case study from our product list. So that is the 3-phase current sensor as well as the voltage sensor. for the DSP as well as that my FPGA target board. In that one, we have used different amplifiers as well as the different voltage followers. I will tell you one by one, so keep engaged with the entire class. Similarly, the peak detector. So where the peak detector is used, see, for example, suppose if you are running the load, if your load draws about 5 ampere load, so the current is like similar kind of thing. Actually, due to abnormal conditions, some spike may occur, right? So we have to identify this spike. So with the help of this peak detector, then we can identify this peak, right? So here and all we have to use this kind of operation circuits. Similarly, inverting op-amp and the non-inverting op-amp. Whatever you are applying the voltage at this terminal, so this is the, suppose the feedback is connected to the negative part, that is called the inverting amplifier. The feedback is connected to the positive part, that is called the non-inverting amplifier, right? So in that case, the diagram I have, yes, this configuration. Actually, the voltage input to output voltage will be the negative part of the R2 divided by R1. So this is this port. Similarly, for the positive one, see here the positive one, actually here the positive and the negative. So in that case, R1 divided by R2, so this is called negative positive voltage. So inverting and the non-inverting, wherever we have to clip the voltage sometime and then we have to scale up the voltage. So these functions which widely used in the signal conditioning circuit. Yes, so for this is for the integrator and the differential amplifiers, so and operational differentiators and current to voltage converters, the negative resistance module. So these are all some major models which we are going to use in the signal conditioning circuit. And now let us take a sensor, right? How first let us take a voltage sensor. See, in this voltage sensor, to measure the voltage sensor, there are three different methods. One is called voltage divider, potential transformer, Hall effect sensors. So these three sensors we are going to use in the voltage sensing applications. So first let us take a voltage divider method. See, the voltage divider method is either you can use the two capacitor, instead of the one capacitor you can take a measurement output voltage, or else you can use the two resistance, right? So the voltage available across the R2, that is called output voltage, which will be equivalent to the input voltage. So here we can scale up the equivalent voltages, right? After the voltage divider, we have to add the voltage follower to get a proper output voltage. Yes, but audio still there is a problem, I think so. Certificate will be after 30 days. We will generate a certificate. So hopefully we will generate and then send you the email by 25th of this September. Certificate. So this is this voltage divider method is perfectly suited for the DC voltage measurement. And similarly, AC voltage. So the AC voltage is here we are going to use the potential transformers. So this is the potential transformer, and after secondary part of the potential transformer, we are going to load with the load resistor. Then two 1K resistors has been connected in series, right? And after that, here we can use a half bridge circuit, and this voltage will be clipped, and then it will be converted as a DC. Right, so this we can directly connect to the microcontroller to sense the AC voltage. So with this one, with this circuit, see here, suppose if it is a 230 voltage, and if it is secondary part is like a 6 voltage, secondary part is 6 voltage. Then now we can get by tuning this resistance. So we can get the average DC average voltage will be like a equivalent like a 5 voltage. Right? Suppose if there is a frequency changes in the AC input, if there is a frequency changes instead of 50 hertz, then instead of 50 hertz you are getting like 40 hertz or 60 hertz. In that case, we cannot we cannot tap that variations. So whatever it the 230 voltage, the same 230 voltage will be measured, and then it will be equivalent to the equal scale down to voltage. Right? Scale down to voltage. Right? Suppose if you want to use the AC voltage at the exact voltage, in the sense after this resistance, you have to connect with the ADC. That ADC will be a special purpose ADC. So straight away we can that ADC will measure the positive voltage and negative voltage. The same voltage will be applied, the same positive as well as the negative voltage. Positive and the negative voltage will be applied. So this voltage will directly connected to the microcontroller. In the microcontroller, we will implement a root mean square formula to calculate the AC voltage. So there will be a huge disturbances may occur, but by implementing proper filter circuit, we can avoid those issues. Right? And similarly, again another method, it's a AC full bridge method. So the secondary part of the transformer is connected with the full bridge in a rectifier, and after the rectifier you can connect with the load variable resistance, and this variable across this resistance you can get a voltage across this capacitance. This voltage will be equal to the input voltage. So here let us take this is the 230, and then here we can take a 5 voltage. So here the 5 denotes that the 230 voltage. Right? If it is available to 5 voltage here, then which means that 230 voltage available at this primary part. Suppose if it is available 0 voltage, then here the voltage will be the 0. So like that you can equate the voltage, and then you can connect to the microcontroller. And after that you have to connect a Zener diode, 5 voltage Zener diode, to protect the protection circuit, and to you can connect to the microcontrollers. Alright. And similarly for AC and then DC voltage measurement, so there is a sensor called LEM sensor LV25P. So that is world's topmost sensing sensor element. So with this sensor we can sense the output. After this sensor output, we can connect R1 and then R2, again the voltage divider method, and finally you can connect the voltage follower to get a proper output voltage from the sensor. So this is very simplest circuit. So between we have to connect actually. This is the positive and the negative, and then here. And so this is another circuit. You just take this node. So straight away you can use this one in your circuit. So this is the LV25P, and these 2 pins are the primary input, and then 3 pins are the secondary part, plus 15, minus 15, plus 15, and you have to connect the 330 ohm resistance in the third part with the ground pin, right? And across this value you can take it. So just take LM741. So here you can get a proper voltage. Either here you can give AC voltage or DC voltage. So here you can exactly take the same output. Yes. And similarly, now we are going to discuss about the current sensor. So the current sensor is, the first one is the resistance method. So here this is the people will call as a shunt resistor method. In the second, let's suppose if we take this three-phase inverter. So here the shunt resistance can be connected. So across these two value, across this point, this equal resistance will be connected. So here you can connect a ADC, operational amplifier, to get exact voltage, right? And after that you can, via the ADC you can connect it. So this is a shunt resistance method. Similarly, current transformer. So these are all the AC transformers like a Hall effect based sensor. So the current wire can be placed through the hole. So whenever the current flows there, the sensor will generate a voltage, right? So this is called the Hall effect sensor. So based on this one, we can generate output voltage. So we can sense this one also. Similarly, Hall effect sensors, again, this is the high end one. See, actually here, this Hall effect sensor will be placed on the magnetic material. So actually this also will work on the same method, but here the exact the north and south pole will be placed in proper manner to get a proper output voltage. So this three type of sensors has been used to the sense the measurement current sensors, right? So here the sensing the shunt resistor method. See here for the low side current sensor, the low side current sensor nothing but in this one. So this is the low side current, and similarly this is the high side current. So both are different. Alright, so here you have to connect accordingly, and then operational amplifier and the voltage follower, then you can get output voltage. So just take this note to sense the instrumentation amplifier to get a proper output voltage. And see here to sense the in the current sensor method, see here you have to run the positive as well as the negative track at a very close manner. So then only you can avoid the EMI issues. Otherwise, the track, on the track there will be a lot of noises will be generated. So just keep in your mind too while you are designing your PCB. And the current transformer method. See, actually in the current transformer, similar kind, primary and then secondary part will be there. The secondary we have to connect it short circuit via the load, right? So this is called the load resistor, RL. We can call it as the RL, right? So this load resistor, across the load resistor, again similar voltage will be there. So here the AC current, here also the similar kind, the scale down the AC current will be there. Right, so this AC current is will be available as a voltage, as a AC voltage. So this voltage is converted with the full bridge rectifier, and after that the same procedure whatever we followed in the current transformer, sorry, voltage sensor. So you can connect directly. And similarly the Hall effect sensor, see here the sensor is actually there are variety of sensors are available. We use HO10, I think so actually. We use HO10. So this different sensors are available, like 1 ampere, 5 ampere, 10 ampere, 50 ampere, 25 ampere, 100 ampere. So in the variety of ranges, you can get different current sensors. Right? So the power supply is applied, and then operational amplifier and tuning element. So you can download the circuit from the LMS portal. So try to use this one for your applications. First, second part is the speed measurement. For the speed measurement, there are two major methodologies there. One is called optical sensors and another one is called magnetic sensor. See here the optical sensors, so this is the magnetic type sensor. So the magnetic type sensor is nothing but, so there will be a core that is called iron core, and over the core the coil will be mounted. So here we can take output. At the same time we have to apply some voltages also. So in between, whenever the magnet, again the permanent magnet will be placed. So whenever the path is nearby, so in that case only we can take a pulses, right? So if the disc rotates from its this position to next position, suppose if it is here, so in that case the pulse will be 0, and whenever the pulse approaches to the core, then only we can get a square pulses. So like that we can identify the motor speed, right? And see here, this is called optical sensors. So this is called optical sensor. See here, one is the transmitter and another one is the receiver. So the LED will emit the voltage. So this voltage, whenever the holes appears, the emitted voltage will be passed to the diode. So this is the receiving part. So at that time we can get the output voltage. See here from the sensor we have to connect the signal conditioning circuit. So here just operational amplifier will be used to get a square pulses, and after that it will be connected to the microcontroller. So this is the speed sensing method. Yes. And so second one, next one is that vibration sensor. So to vibration sensors there are two different methods are used. One is called the piezoelectric model and another one is called the MEMS model. So the MEMS is nothing but latest technology. So here there is a different elements we have to use it. So whatever these things, so after the sensors we have to use the signal conditioning circuit. So this signal conditioning circuit will generate a required voltage as per the microcontroller. And then temperature model. So here the temperature model is, one is that LM35 and then T100. So these are all the basic sensors, and another sensor is called actually IR based temperature sensor. So these two temperatures are widely used. Again, based on the applications, you have to use different type of different type of sensors. So whatever the sensors, see here the same signal conditioning circuit we have to use it. So and to get a desired output voltage, right? And the next one is the torque sensor. See here the torque is nothing but based on the stresses across the shaft or particular module. So we can take a torque value. So to get one, so in the Pantech you can get this kind of torque sensors. So this torque sensor is capable to measure 0 to 100 Newton meter, right? So the voltage rating is 15 positive to plus or minus 15 voltage with a high resolution output voltage. So here this sensor we have to keep between these two motor as well as the load. So whatever the stress available on the shaft, that can be measured via this sensor, right? And so this is the AC to DC current as well as that AC to DC, three-phase AC voltage sensor method. So this is the case study of that sensor board I have already mentioned. With this board, so here the three different power supplies has been used. Simple 7805 and then 7812 and then minus 7912. So this three different volt power supply has been used for various applications. And second part is that here there is three current sensors. So here we can feed either AC or DC current sensor, right? And this is the input and then this is the output of the this here we have to feed R in, R out, Y in, Y out, B in, B out. So like that we have a model. And similarly here three-phase AC voltage has been connected. So here we have to connect three-phase AC voltage. And from this part you can take a current measurement as well as from this part we can take a voltage measurement. So whatever it may be, the output voltage will be 0 to 3 voltage. So this we can vary with the help of the amplifier. So gain amplifier, all this gain amplifier will be mentioned. Alright, so yes, so I will share you the circuit in this this three-phase AC voltage as well as the current sensor board circuit in the LMS portal. So those who are all interested, so we can take it. Yeah, now you can ask your questions. Now you can ask your questions. Thank you, Gautam. What is the procedure for recorded video? So first you have to log into our website. you just use our the coupon code like batch 5 EV to get your discount. From that you can you can access all the recorded classes. Sir, I missed attendance a few days due to internet. Okay, but sir, actually sorry to say this one. Always the 25 days attendance is mandatory to get your webinar participation certificate. Battery charging station, more details we will discuss in the different topic, so not in this one. Torque sensor is mandatory, it's not a mandatory. See, actually some applications depend on that, actually that is going to depend by the applications, not prayer one. Thank you, Mohammed. If you have any questions, you can ask me. The internship link I will share you, just a second. Yeah, so this is the internship link, you can check it. No, that is an entirely different topic, Mr. Sanjeev. Yes, the gain is output divided by input. Yeah, actually just to use the proper formula, just to recap the video. Thank you, participants. Thank you, Ramadurai. Thank you, Tushar. Thank you, Suraj. But yesterday class still is available. You please recheck. Biofuel vehicles would create any problem for EVs? It's not. I mean, it's not a considerable amount that also. Minimum sensor requirement, current and then voltage. That is the minimum thing. Ravi, please WhatsApp me after this live. I will let you update. So please take my number 98409 74408. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Lucky Ram. Asim Sen, whatever we have scheduled, all the attendance form we have shared on the live chat. So you have to follow the live chat only. Yeah, Mr. Tushar, only 4 days left. Ravi, please please WhatsApp me or email it to my WhatsApp number. I have shared my WhatsApp number in the live chat. Lithium ion batteries recycle, I'm not much about it. Let me check and then confirm you. I will share you the answers. Amajit Kumar, all the class notes are available on the internship portal. If you need, you please check it. Thank you, participants. Thanks for your valuable time here. If you have any more questions, you please ask me. Thank you so much for your valuable time here. So we'll meet you in the next class. Thank you. Thank you once again.